Good morning, and
Good morning.
thank you for joining us. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Colette Burgess, and I'm chairman of Suncoast Catholics. So our goal today is simple: to inspire you to take action by equipping our children with the truth that life begins at conception. You'll see several programs today, free or nearly free, that you can bring into your schools, your parishes, and your ministries right away. Now, we have school administrators, diocesan staff, church leaders, pro-life advocates, medical professionals, reps from pregnancy centers and fertility centers with us today. So whatever your role or your denomination, we share one mission: to respect and protect the God-given right to life. Now, the national debate around abortion is loud and deeply divided, but our focus today is not on the adults, it's on our children. They are hearing messages that deny the humanity of the child in the womb. And if we don't teach them now, the legal protections that we do have could disappear within a generation. It is our responsibility to form their consciences. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time, Suncoast Catholics is a volunteer action network of Catholic Vote, and our mission is to encourage Catholics to live out our faith in public life. And we do this by reclaiming the culture, promoting Catholic values, and using the political process, alongside people of all denominations who share this calling. So let me introduce our team very quickly. We have Mary Lou Gala, who's our communications director, Dan Pepin, who is our bioethics consultant, and Michael Alarcon, who contributed greatly to today's program. So what can you expect today? Well, we're going to look at the messages that influence our children. We're going to discuss fetal development education across the country, especially here in Florida. Then we'll introduce specific programs that you can use right away. Kimberly Bird from Live Action will introduce the Baby Olivia video and talk about its impact. This is the catalyst that has spurred the fetal education across the country. We'll highlight A Glimpse Inside, which is a ready-to-teach curriculum from the St. John Paul II Center. Dr. Dan Pepin will share brief excerpts from one of his presentations. And we'll hear about the Share Education program that uses college students to spread the message to young children and high school students. So before we begin, let's start with prayer. During Advent, we remember Mary, who faced what today we would call a crisis pregnancy. Yet she said yes. And when Mary visited her cousin, Elizabeth greeted her as the mother of my Lord. Not the expectant mother, not the soon-to-be mother, but mother. Elizabeth understood 2,000 years ago that life begins at conception, and our children need to understand this too. So please join me in a prayer for our children. All right, pray with me, please. Our Heavenly Father, we commend our children unto Thee. Be Thou their God and Father, and mercifully supply whatever is wanting in us through frailty or negligence. Strengthen them to overcome the corruptions of the world, to resist all solicitations to evil, whether from within or without, and deliver them from the secret snares of the enemy. Pour their grace into their hearts, and confirm and multiply in them the gifts of the Holy Spirit, that they may daily grow in grace and in the knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ, and so faithfully serving Thee may come to rejoice in Thy presence hereafter. So let me turn this over to Michael now.
What we're trying to discuss today is why a human life curriculum matters. And so many children in this country, and especially here in Florida, are never taught that life begins at conception, or that embryos and fetuses are human beings with inherent dignity. And so this educational gap leaves youth vulnerable to misunderstanding human life at its earliest stages. And so when permissive sex education curricula are combined with early exposure to pornography and sexual content online, children risk internalizing distorted views of sexuality and life. They'll believe that life begins later or that embryos are merely cells. The social media algorithms can amplify and normalize this sexualized content. And so once children engage, recommendation systems often keep feeding them similar material, deepening misinformation and shaping harmful narratives about human life and dignity. And so are you all aware of this? And actually, for some of the educators here, what are some of the latest social media or internet kind of algorithms that you guys are noticing? I don't know if you realize in Australia, they just banned a lot of social media for children under 18. And so I'll open it up to anybody that can say, hey, yeah, this is something that's happening where children are in my school are addicted to their phones and addicted to social media. So can anyone kind of share this? Some of your experiences?
Well, I'll share one personally. So my 17-year-old son, through his interest in theater and good music and so forth, went to the first Wicked, or saw the first Wicked movie. The second one with my wife, he went to last night. And in the second movie, which of course is based on, The Wizard of Oz, they go, and if you haven't seen it, they both were just shocked from the fact that they're drawing these children in for a so-called children's movie, and there's a sex scene. So the Wicked Witch of the West actually has sex with the prince in the second movie. And that all stemmed from social media and interest in what we thought was just at least a children's show.
Appalling.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other examples that you guys are noticing on social media and in our current culture?
This is Lisa Limburger from St. Matthews. Sorry, my camera's not working very well. In our youth ministry program, and we have 6th grade through seniors in high school, we have had to initiate a no phone, no electronic distraction zone. So we open up youth ministry, they have 10 minutes or so or whatever, then we're an electronic free zone, and then we do a countdown because we can't keep the kids engaged. But primarily we've seen a couple of kids who went from your typical normal happy-go-lucky altar server kids to when their parents felt they were old enough to have smartphones, they were given their smartphone, and literally within 2 years, so we're talking from 8th grade to now these kids are in 10th grade, they won't look you in the eye, they're looking at their feet, they are so nervous and agitated when they don't have their phones in their hands that you can see the withdrawal, and this is only an hour and a half youth ministry time frame. So it is definitely getting out of hand. The analytics are out there, but the parents are just as addicted, so they don't want to look at the analytics at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, of course, research shows that pornography exposure among minors often begins in early adolescence and sometimes unexpectedly, via social media or the internet. And this exposure shapes distorted views of sex and life from the earliest years. And so, of course, we know that social media can be absolutely addicting. That's why Australia has banned it in several other countries. And hopefully we'll have some bans like that in the United States as well. And so to guard the dignity of human life, we must provide children with a truthful, respectful, values-rooted understanding of life's beginning. And by adopting an approved human life curriculum, one grounded in biology, morality, and reverence for the unborn, educators and communities can counteract these distortions, protect children from early sexualization, and then form a culture that cherishes life from its very start. Next slide. And so, of course, how do we inspire the next generation to respect the dignity of the unborn? That's where, again, we must teach them the science of human development. So, Mary Lou?
Ready. Next slide. So some states notably 6 of them that are listed on your screen, have already passed laws that require that their public schools teach age-appropriate fetal development. They don't necessarily require the Baby Olivia video, which you will be seeing here shortly, but they do require something similar. Florida is not among them, but next slide. Florida legislature this last session had a requirement in it. It passed the House. It did not pass in the Senate. And there were some flaws in the way it was written, so it's somewhat understandable why it didn't. And we sincerely hope that it will be filed this year. Next slide. And passed, of course. So the thing is that we don't have to wait until the public schools are teaching it. We have a lot of children in religious education classes and a lot of children in church-supported schools. The bishops last year, when we went up to Tallahassee for the Catholic Days at the Capitol, which is something that has been going on for 50 years. This coming February, it will be the 51st year that people from Catholic churches and dioceses have gone to Tallahassee on a specific day to lobby the legislators. This last year, we had four items that the bishops wanted us to talk about, and one of them was this aspect of having fetal development, embryology, if you will, taught in the public schools. It seems to me, and it seems to a number of people, that we really do not have to wait for the public schools to do it, and that if the bishops are, as they are, excited about having the state teach it, we in our Catholic schools should be teaching it also. And there's no reason not to, except that perhaps they're not aware of the programs that are actually available, that they don't have to go out and search. We're providing the at least 4 of the programs that are available, as Colette mentioned, free or nearly free. And they can be included in a curriculum in an elementary school. Some are appropriate for high schools. It can be taught over a number of years without repeating. And we feel that we should be leading by example, not just in the Catholic schools, but in all of the Christian schools, all of the Christian faith education classes, no matter what you call them. We're very happy that we have people on this call that are from different religious denominations. And we hope that all of us can work together for this.
We are honored to have Kimberly join us today. She's from Live Action. So Live Action built, created, and produced Baby Olivia, The Window in the Womb. And Kimberly has already exposed many of our students in the Tampa Bay area. She's gone to teach, for instance, at Christ the King. She gives a presentation every year, and I understand she was a Jesuit recently as well. So she's the subject matter expert here, and we owe a lot to the Live Action.
Good morning, everyone. You'll have to excuse my voice. I'm struggling with a bit of a cold this morning, but I just wanted to take a second to just tell you I was born and raised in this diocese. I actually attended elementary school at St. Jude's Cathedral. I went to St. P. Catholic High School, and I have 3 children that are attending Christ the King. So very involved here in this diocese. I've been with Live Action for 4 years now, and I manage all of our communications and PR. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Live Action, Live Action is a national human rights organization. It was founded by our president, Lila Rose. We are national, and our goal is to end abortion and build a culture of life by exposing the beauty of life in the womb, and also being able to winsomely tell the truth about the truth around abortion. So in 2021, we worked in collaboration with medical experts, embryologists, to actually create Baby Olivia. It is a 3-minute video that is medically accurate animation of life developing in the womb, beginning at fertilization. It does not say anything about abortion, does not mention abortion. All it is an educational tool to encourage or really to dispel the narrative that we constantly hear that a child is just a clump of cells from the moment of conception. And what we want to show is that there is a very quick and an intentional development of the child from the very beginning. And so would love to show you the video. These are just some statistics. It has been seen almost 68 million times. And people are being, our minds and hearts are being changed due to baby Olivia. I do show this every year at Christ the King just because my kids are there and have a great relationship with Principal Nick Hannis. But I was at Academy of Holy Names as well as Jesuit in the last month sharing this video as well as some other content that we have.
This is Olivia. Though she has yet to greet the outside world, she has already completed an amazing journey. This is the moment that life begins. A new human being has come into existence. At fertilization, her gender, ethnicity, hair color, eye color, and countless traits are already determined. She begins to implant in the uterus about 1 week after fertilization. Her cells organize into what we call an embryo. At 3 weeks and 1 day, just 22 days after fertilization, Olivia's heartbeat can be detected. The buds of her arms and legs appear by 4 weeks. She begins to move between 5 and 6 weeks with both spontaneous and reflexive movements. At 6 weeks from fertilization, her brain activity can be recorded and bone formation begins. She can bring her hands together at 7.5 weeks, and separate fingers and toes emerge. She can also begin to hiccup. At the beginning of the 9th week, Olivia will have grown from a single cell into nearly 1 billion cells, and she is now called a fetus. She will suck her thumb and swallow, grasp an object, touch her face, sigh and stretch. At 11 weeks, she is playing in the womb, moving her body and exploring her environment. Her taste bud cells have matured by week 12 but are still scattered throughout her mouth. Her mother will first sense Olivia's movements between 14 and 18 weeks, an event called quickening. Beginning at 18 weeks, ultrasounds show speaking movements in her voice box. Around 20 weeks, with a lot of help, babies have survived outside the womb. At 27 weeks, her eyes are responding to light. She can recognize her parents' voices and will even recognize lullabies and stories. Olivia has gone on an amazing journey during these last 9 months. She will soon signal to her mother that it is time for delivery and greet the outside world.
So that is baby Olivia. We have since actually created an additional fetal content or development content video called Baby Oliver that just came out last month, which goes a little bit more in depth, is a little bit longer of a video. And we also just came out with a children's book sharing baby Olivia's story in a board book form. So we truly believe and we understand through data and statistics that when we teach a foundation that life begins at conception, abortion is never a question for these young people. So it's so important that we're teaching this in our science classrooms, as well as, of course, in our religion classrooms as well. So one of the first things that we did in 2021 with baby Olivia is we contacted Formed. Baby Olivia has been on formed.org for many years now, and is a video that many in our diocese choose to show, just because it is already on the platform. Baby Oliver will be on there as well. So one of the things that we've done since the fall of Roe, and since we've had to really dispel our efforts across the country, state by state, looking at pro-life laws, we've been working with state lawmakers to help support pro-life legislation. Not just this, but all different types of pro-life legislation. But one of the most successful pieces has been the Baby Olivia Acts. Over 20 states actually filed legislation last year to actually have a Baby Olivia Act or something named similarly, where they require public schools to show fetal development education in their classrooms. And we, as they mentioned earlier, we have 6 states. These are my babies are here too. So they have 6 states have already put that into law, and we have the state of Ohio actually just passed it in their state house. It's headed to the Senate, so pretty soon we'll have 7 states enacting that, and it is to show a fetal development video in the classroom, either Baby Olivia or an equivalent.
Wonderful. Wonderful. We hope that Florida will be joining that very soon. All right, so the next thing we want to show you is children reacting to seeing the Baby Olivia video and being taught about this. I find this just delightful, and this is only 2 minutes, but they're charming in their innocence.
This is Olivia. Though she has yet to greet the outside world, she has already completed an amazing journey.
Well, I think it's important from an early age that kids should know the truth and they be shown the truth. I found that even with my own kids, when you see it early on, it just makes sense.
My mom was pregnant, and when I saw that video, I never thought that like babies were alive, because I don't remember being like alive during that time. So I just thought they were like non-existent.
She can bring her hands together at 7.5 weeks, and separate fingers and toes emerge. She can also begin to hiccup.
Even if you don't believe in God, this is scientifically accurate. And I think even if you just looked at the science of this, you will see that this is a real human, and this is a real human being.
I like the narrator because it was nice to know what was happening in the video, because that was all going on. If you had a child, that would all be going on inside of you.
Beginning at 18 weeks, ultrasounds show speaking movements in her voice box.
36 weeks for such like an intricate design is so amazing.
It causes that time of questioning and grappling with that, because you already know what the truth is, and so you have to deny that in order to proceed forward in with an abortion.
At 27 weeks, her eyes are responding to light. She can recognize her parents' voices and will even recognize lullabies and stories.
I think it's really cool to see it because you can see that all throughout stages of life they are active and they're real people.
It's an absolute miracle, and like that little girl is a baby.
This is what it's all about, folks. We want our children to see it, to hear it, and to know it deep, deep in their hearts, that this is a real baby from the moment of conception. I don't know about you, but I could watch these kids over and over again, just their faces and their reactions. The little boy who didn't understand that he was alive when he was in his mother's womb because he doesn't remember it. I mean, it's just this is the goal. This. Anybody else have any thoughts or comments?
I will say, when I spoke to Jesuit the other day, this was their favorite video. These young men said they had never thought about how development really happened and what actually was going on in the process and how absolutely fascinating it was. That was the word that I heard. And I just think it's just such a beautiful thing. And it's also incredible that we're not teaching this in the classroom.
What I love is how simple it is and beautiful. And like you said, it doesn't mention abortion, which is such a hot topic and shouldn't be, but that it's really simple and just quietly plants that seed. And to me, it sort of reminds me of when we started learning how bad cigarettes were for our parents, and we went home and started telling our parents not to smoke years ago. So, I mean, I can see kids going home after seeing this, even teenagers, and saying, wow, this, did you know this? And so it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it really, really, really is.
And also what's interesting is it does not say abortion, but when these laws have been enacted in various states, it has very much upset the abortion industry. The best thing that they want to do is create humanity for the child. And they have actually said in news articles that they think it's indoctrination, it's propaganda, that we gave the child a name. How dare we? And so it definitely solidifies to me that this is an important thing to do, because it has really raised a flag with them that they're like, wow, they're saying this is a child, and that goes against everything we've been trying to teach.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to show you is a trailer from the St. John Paul II Life Center. They have built a curriculum called A Glimpse Inside, based on the Baby Olivia video. And we'll talk about it more after you see the trailer.
A Glimpse Inside is a captivating educational experience that gives viewers the opportunity to witness life in its earliest stages. This physician-led video series is a fascinating look at the development of human life within a mother's womb. A Glimpse Inside is crafted to open teens' minds and engage hearts as they see, maybe for the first time, just how amazing they and everyone around them really are.
I thought it was great just to see the ultrasound. The heartbeat lets you know that something's alive.
I liked to see how the baby developed and how quickly he developed.
I thought it was so cool that the baby was the size of a grain of rice and it still had a heartbeat.
This showed me that it doesn't matter how developed you are, you're always going to be the same person with the same dignity.
A Glimpse Inside is designed for schools, churches, and families who are looking for a new way to introduce students to the gift of life.
A Glimpse Inside is a unique program in that they have it, you can use it just about in any situation. They have 5 videos that are about 5 minutes each. It's a right out of the box ready curriculum for teachers to use. The 5 videos can be shown one after the other as a half-hour program, so that it's a one-time thing and you can teach the whole thing. Or it can be broken up into individual units. Now, these videos are medically accurate in that they have 2 OBGYN doctors talking to children about the stages of development during pregnancy. And they stress that they are talking about the medical science, not their opinions. And that's one of the key things about this program, is that it stresses that the difference, and that's one of the things they want children to learn, is the difference between a science perspective and a personal opinion. Milk may be good for you, but not everybody likes it. and, going into stuff like that. The curriculum provides activities, questions, talking points, quizzes, the whole 9 yards. So it can be shown all at once or individually. The doctors show ultrasounds. They're with women who are pregnant and having an ultrasound, and they show that and talk about where they are in each development. And this is very factual and very well done. So the key learning objectives here is to learn the fetal development, to understand the difference between personal opinion and science, because that's what the children are being bombarded with on social media. Talking about the medical terminology. They're also stressing guidelines for respectful discussion on sensitive topics. As you can imagine, this would be, people have strong opinions. And so respectfulness is an important thing as well. Now, this one does mention abortion. They address the ethical questions surrounding unexpected pregnancies, abortions, and disabilities. They don't dwell on it, but they recognize that these questions are there. And this is a free program. You just need to log on to the program, sign up, and you get access to the whole thing. And it even includes a parental acknowledgement letter where parents are alerted that, hey, we're going to be doing this and you're welcome to come and see. So it's an all-in-one, right? Open up the box and get started. So I really think this is one that you should take a close look at. So the next person that we're going to talk with is Dr. Dan Pepin, who's with us today. He goes to, he's part of the diocese also. He goes to Our Lady of Lourdes. And Dr. Pepin has a lot of experience. He was an orthodontist for many years and then became a professor. And as you can see from his resume here, he's spoken all over the country and actually in Canada as well. He's been a real advocate for life.
I taught embryology and human development for over 30 years. And I can assure you that many of my students were pro-choice, i.e. pro-abortion, until they took my class. And they had a change of heart. There's no doubt in my mind, because many of them came to my office and told me, well, things that changed in how they think. And that's what it's all about, educating our youth. Informed consent, if you will. Before they make a decision, they should have all the information. So, again, the goal of this program is to educate students on the science of life in the womb and foster a reverence for life, because they, at a very impressionable age, are starting to formulate their own worldly views, if you will. Legislation was introduced in Florida, but it was defeated. I can't wrap my head around it. Again, why? Regardless what your position is, why do you deny educational material from students? Once again, informed consent. If they make that terrible decision down the road, at least they had the information. There's too many abortions that occurred where the mother has no idea what's going on. Because, after all, just a clump of cells, right? I want to share a couple of scenarios with you. I call it the Jack and Jill and baby Olivia scenarios. Jack and Jill, we're going to have a baby. They weren't expecting a baby. They're having a baby. Semantics mean a lot. If someone says so-and-so is expecting, politely say, no, she's not expecting. She already has a baby. Mm-hmm. So back to the Jack and Jill and Olivia scenario. Jack and Jill found out they're going to have a baby. Then they're ecstatic. Super excited. Fixing the nursery up, baby furniture, baby clothes. They even picked out a name for the baby girl, Olivia, Jill's grandmother. When Olivia was about 21 weeks old in Jill's womb, Jack and Jill received a phone call from the regional office. There was a manager offering them once in a lifetime, career-changing opportunity. However, this opportunity is going to require a lot of travel, even international travel. You can almost see in the expression when they're talking to the manager, my gosh, what are we going to do? We're going to have a baby. So they asked the manager, could we please have a few days to think this over and make a decision? But needless to say, some sleepless nights and a lot of deep discussions deep into the night. They arrived at a decision. It's too great an opportunity to pass up. So they made a decision to terminate the pregnancy. Same couple, Jack and Jill. This time, when Olivia is 21 weeks old, she decides she wants out. And she was prematurely born. Now, Olivia is in the nursery, in a crib, when Jack and Jill get that same phone call from the regional manager with the offer. They didn't hesitate. So we certainly appreciate this, sir, for giving us this opportunity, but we can't accept we have a baby. So when Olivia was 21 weeks old, in a different location, same age, different location in the womb, she can be legally killed. When Olivia is 21 weeks old, same age, but in a different location, in the nursery, she's protected by all the laws that protect us. So help me out here. Are we to believe that location or age dictates the right to life? In the womb, legally, your life can be ended. Another location, fortunately, born prematurely, the life saved. Worldwide, there is a war being waged against unborn children, and it must stop. And that's why we're here, to get educated and do what we can. Let me conclude this with a simple statement. Adoption is always an option. Adoption is always an option. Yes, it can be a huge inconvenience to a young lady or a young girl trying to finish high school or go on to college or have a career and everything else. But it's 9 months of your life. 9 months of your life versus destroying a life.
Dan, it does a great job with this presentation, and he's available to come out to your school or your church group, youth group, and share this presentation. One thing that I really appreciate about all the different resources that are available to us is that they're all free and we're all here to help. Any one of us can come out and help walk you through these curriculums that are available. One particular organization that I really like is this SHARE program, and their website is pretty easy. We'll share it with you later, but it's the SHARE program Florida. They're already in several schools down in the Diocese of Venice, so in the Naples area. And what the SHARE program is really great. The sexual health and relationship education actually utilizes what they call SHARE ambassadors, who are young people, either high school or college students, who are trained and well equipped to go in and actually teach the children this. So it's not coming from, us who are older and, not as cool as the young people, but this is definitely within peers. And what they found is actually a four-year age difference. It can be the most influential. So, what I really like about this is that, although most of these programs are free, they do actually reimburse these college students when they go in and they share, this type of education into school. And so I think it's about $75 or $150, I think, they'll actually pay these young adults. And I've had a great relationship with Students for Life. Kristen Murray is the Florida director for Students for Life here. She was going to make the call, but she can't be on it. But I've already spoken with her about this, and they would love to have some of their students that are involved come out and speak at a high school or at a middle school for this type of program. And then once they get certified in this SHARE program, then they can come out and make these presentations really anywhere in Florida. So next slide there. So yeah, so this is exactly what it is. Again, another curriculum that's available for you to utilize in your school or youth group.
So this is what we have to show you. We've provided you with 4 different options. Right, Teresa, is there something you wanted to say?
I had a question to Kimberly because I really liked the SHARE group and having students come in. So when they do it in schools, is it you show the video and then do you have like a list of questions, or how do you get the conversation going?
Well, anyone can show our video. So it is available on YouTube. We have many churches and schools and groups that share it all the time. And as I said, we have Baby Oliver as well, and Window to the Womb, which is an app that you can share. Another video called Along for the Ride, which shows the baby developing along with the mother and, hearing and seeing things while he or she is in the womb. So we have tons of fetal development content that anybody can use. Absolutely. So this could definitely be in conjunction with any of these organizations. But yes, we do have, we're in the process of building our own curriculum, but are in no way wanting to hinder anyone else's. So we do have a list of questions. We do have many other videos that go along with it because we are a content organization. But as I mentioned, any of these organizations can use Baby Olivia.
Right. Yeah, I was just wondering because, some people maybe would show it, but then if they had a format to do icebreaker questions and stuff.
We do. We have a teacher's guide to kind of walk through what's happening at each stage. We also have line by line the medical accuracy backed by experts throughout the country, even those that are pro-abortion. Actually, we've been able to back up all of our claims, and that's how we've been able to get the legislation enacted, because we have a line by line medical accuracy. So lots of documents that I could share and that are willing and able and public to be shared. So we want this to be used, obviously. That's why we have it on
the website. Are those on your website?
The medical accuracy document, I don't know if that's on our website, but I can certainly share that with you.
Okay.
All right. And A Glimpse Inside, their curriculum is full of that. They have talking points for the instructor, quizzes, activities to do with the children. You can literally open it up and go, okay, I'm ready to go. I just need to.
And they partnered with us for the content, which was great. So they were able to.
Absolutely. It all flows from Baby Olivia. And the SHARE program, the SHARE education, which is sexual health and relationship education, which has the student ambassadors that go out. If you'll notice, there were 3 programs that they taught. They taught chastity, A Glimpse Inside, and they have a program for parents as well to work with their children.
So I have a quick question.
Yes, Lisa.
Because we're from, I'm assuming, several different organizations and dioceses. With respect to St. Pete Diocese, has all of this already been kind of run through St. Pete Diocese? Do they back it? And is there special permissions necessary, even for something like Baby Olivia? Obviously, parental consent is kind of important. So I'm just wondering.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm just wondering what protocols have been used thus far?
Well, the diocese is very much aware of what we're doing today. One of the people from the diocese was going to join us, but couldn't because there's a funeral for a Monsignor today. But is is very eager to see this program and what we're showing. So we've recorded this, and this will be available, and they're going to look at it. And we do have some diocesan staff in the education department that is on the call with us today as well. So, and the baby Olivia, we made a note of stressing that it's on formed.
Right, but not all parishes have, like, I'm one of them that we don't have access to formed. Not to the.
So I didn't have to get approval to show it at Christ the King or Academy or Jesuit because A, it didn't talk about abortion, and B, it was already approved. They're able to show whatever is already on formed.
That's good to know.
Hey, Colette.
Yes.
Chris Pastor here. I'm the superintendent of Catholic schools for the Diocese of St. Pete. So
thanks for speaking up. Thank you.
Sure.
Good afternoon, Chris, or good morning, Chris.
Good morning, Kimberly. How are you?
It's good to see you.
So what I could just tell you is, I think Kimberly came out to our principals meeting, I don't know, a few years ago. She showed baby Olivia. That's 100% cleared. So you can use that resource without checking with anybody. That's been, that's fully approved. No problems with that. Generally speaking, I'm not seeing everything on here, but anything from the JP2 Life Center you would be fine with. So the only thing that occurs in the Diocese of St. Petersburg is if you're going to have any speaker. So this is what applies for schools and I assume for parishes, but if you're going to have any speaker from the outside who's going to talk about anything that has to deal with the Catholic faith, that actually goes through Deacon Rick Wells' office. So they have a form. I do know Dr. Pepin has already been cleared. So he's presented it at OLL and that's occurred, but it's just always good to let the chancellor know. So Deacon Wells is our chancellor for canonical affairs. But everything I've heard and been presented here is completely in line with Catholic teaching and no issues there.
Awesome. Does anybody by chance, even in some of these curriculums that we're looking at, does anybody have a parent letter that's already been kind of crafted? Because one of my bigger concerns is obviously our teenagers need to hear this. They need to learn about this. If we have a parent out there somewhere who is still sensitive to the fact that maybe earlier in their lives, they made a choice that they're not particularly happy with, this could instigate some church hurt that we definitely don't want.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Lisa. A glimpse inside, once you get into the program and you see all the pieces, they do have, it's not a parental approval form, it's a parental notice form, but you could certainly take it and doctor it. And what it is the letter goes out saying to the parents that we're going to be showing this on this date and that time, and it's going to be talking about A, B, and C, and you're welcome to join us, and we encourage you to attend. And I presume that if a parent, you could always add on, no, I don't want Johnny to see this, or yes, I approve, but the notice goes out. So that's something that you can take a look at, or we can help you get to see.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of, we do a similar opt out, if you will, for safe environment and Circle of Grace. And of course, we do have, not us personally, but there are select parents who are like, no, kids get enough of that all over the place. So then they just choose to not have their children attend that day. So
I can also share with you. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's good. That's good, Kimberly. Go right ahead.
I can also share with you the 6 states where the Baby Olivia law has been enacted. Those are for public schools. And one of the big caveats of them actually being enacted into law is having that letter available for the schools. So I can share a couple different versions from Tennessee, from North Dakota, from Iowa, if that would be helpful.
Oh, that would be
yes.
fabulous.
Yes, that would be wonderful. All right. Well, I know that many of you, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question now. The baby, excuse me, the Baby Olivia videos on YouTube.
Yes.
It is, yes.
Okay.
You can actually just go to babyolivia.com and you'll find it.
Okay.
It is on YouTube, but babyolivia.com will get you there as well. And on that particular website, you can actually look into the medical experts that helped with the animation, and it'll give you some more information about Baby Olivia.
On babyolivia.com. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So we've listed here the emails and contact information, you know, the websites that you can go to get more information on all of this. And thank you, Superintendent Pastora, for approving what we're doing here. That's wonderful. Because yes, Kimberly has already been. A glimpse inside from the John Paul II Center is fantastic. Dr. Pepin's already been approved, and Cher is using similar things. So if you want to do this, contact us and we will be happy to help you do that.
Dr. Pippin, can I ask a quick question? And you may have mentioned it and I just missed it. In general, the audience, the age group of your audience would run from where to where? Or do you tailor fit it?
Well, I've done it, what I call middle school to high school, middle school being 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, which is very appropriate. Again, my program can be adapted to the public or a parochial school, and I'm referring to the abortion issue, such things as that. As I think I alluded to already, is when I was teaching on campus, I never once mentioned abortion because it was a public colleges, and but they get the message. You don't have to.
Okay, because typically where we would present this, we're a combined youth ministry from 6th grade till seniors in high school, but there are aspects of time when we separate out high school and middle school. In your opinion, would this, if we had you come to speak, would you prefer to handle middle schoolers at one occasion and 9th grade through seniors in high school on another occasion?
I would, yes, prefer that.
Okay.
And
again, there's some questions that the younger kids may not feel comfortable asking if their older peers are there and vice versa. So,
okay. Thank you.
The Baby Olivia laws have been enacted for ages 5th grade and up. But I would definitely agree when I go talk to schools as well. In high school, I get questions more around, is it ever medically necessary? Difference between abortion and a miscarriage, life of the mother, rape, incest. I mean, people ask more mature questions because they are hearing about these things on social media that our middle school students are not.
Yeah, Kimberly, I'll share with you. You say high schools. I wasn't amazed the first time I spoke at just the middle school. Some of the mature questions that I got just blew me away because somehow I don't think I was that mature at that age to formulate such a question. But it is amazing. These kids are so much more advanced than when I was in 5th to 6th to 7th grade. So for sure.
They are definitely much more educated than I ever was, for sure.
Yeah.
Or miseducated or miseducated. That's the challenge that we have to combat.
Yes. True story.
Yes.
I have a question, Michael. Have the SHARE program been approved? Because I do a lot of speaking in public on anti-drugs, and it is so much more impactful to have younger people now because I'm just, you look at me and they roll their eyes, even though the information's good and comes from my heart. But I'm super excited about younger people, and Kimberly, you're in that case compared to me, but doing that. So is the SHARE program, because those Student for Life kids or students are usually speak very well and are really animated and knowledgeable. So is that approved in the diocese or?
I don't know if it's approved in the Diocese of St. Pete, but I know it's approved in the Diocese of Venice. And so it's all based out of the community pregnancy clinics, which is headquartered in Naples. And so they just hired someone to actually run the SHARE program. And their goal is to expand it through the entire state of Florida and eventually throughout the entire country. Because exactly what you're saying, it's much more impactful when you have young people teaching young people. Again, their research shows that a 4-year age gap can have such a significant impact. And so that's why they try to have even high school students go in and share it with the middle schoolers, and then college students speaking to high school students. So, and all that can be found on their website. Again, shareprogramflorida.fl.org. And then it's all connected with Community Pregnancy Clinics, which is the largest and oldest pregnancy resource center in Florida.
Michael, would Deacon Rick and or Michael Craig know which of these programs have been approved by St. Pete Diocese?
I believe so. And that's something that Chris Pastora might be able to help direct us towards. And again, I think sometimes it's just a matter of just getting it in front of the bishop for approval.
Yeah, so this is Chris again. I can help you with that. Deacon Rick Wells is the right person to go to. And usually, but again, usually what happens is, so even if a priest comes from an outside diocese to say mass, there's just a permission structure that goes through it. So if you contact Deacon Wells, he can help you out with all of that stuff, reviewing it and then getting it approved and all that kind of thing. They're pretty responsive.
Yes, and he's been very responsive. He would have been here except for the funeral for the Monsignor today, but he's going to watch the recording.
Yeah,
So-
a lot of folks today, and if you can, just say a prayer, Monsignor Sipple. So he's just kind of a legend in the diocese. So that funeral's going on, I think, as we speak. So
Yes, I mean, he certainly made the right choice. He needed to be there. But the point is that Deacon Wells we are in communication with the diocese. All right, so let's close with a prayer. Come on. I'm stuck here. All right. So, okay, but before we do that, we hope that you're ready now that you've got some ideas and you know that there's programs available and people who are willing to do this, to implement a program to teach the children that life begins at conception, no matter where your venue is, whether it's a church or a pregnancy center or a school, and spread the word, please. If you've been impressed with this, tell people about it, and we'll be sending you the link to the video. We'll put it on YouTube, over the weekend, but certainly by Monday, we should have this ready for you. So we've taken up a lot of your time where it's past 11, and I know that those of you that are working right now probably need to be someplace else. So we thank you for your time, and let's close with a prayer to end abortion. Lord God, I thank you today for the gift of my life and for the lives of all my brothers and sisters. I know there is nothing that destroys more life than abortion, yet I rejoice that you have conquered death by the resurrection of your Son. I am ready to do my part in ending abortion. Today, I commit myself never to be silent, never to be passive, never to be forgetful of the unborn. I commit myself to be active in the pro-life movement and never to stop defending life until all my brothers and sisters are protected and our nation once again becomes a nation with liberty and justice not just for some, but for all, through Christ our Lord. Amen.